Hello, everyone. Welcome to International News for July 24th, 2023. Today, we're going to be going over the Israel protests, Greece wildfires, as well as Greta Thunberg fined. Now, the protests in Israel, I did spell that very wrong. But, anyways, the protests in Israel come about as a radical change to Israel's judicial system, and the judiciary system will be controlled, I think, by the prime minister primarily, or the Supreme Court will not be able to overturn certain decisions. I'm not 100% on that. But massive protests about this in Israel. The people fear that it will weaken the executive branch and will consolidate power, like I said, to the right wing Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, um, and as well as his allies and everyone he's affiliated with politically. Um, Tens of thousands marched on the streets this past weekend and continued into Monday today, from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Uh, People have set up tents around the city's parliament, like little tent cities, in protest as well. This is all happening as the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu recovers from having a pacemaker installed. So something happened there, I think, with his heart, and he needed a pacemaker. He's recovering from that currently, so I'm not sure how that's affecting him handling this situation at the current time. Um, Even prominent defense, uh, Israeli Defense Force (IDF), aka IDF pilots and members of the Air Force have spoken out about this, and they do not agree with this judiciary decision or proposal anyway. Um, Even the largest trade union in Israel has come out against this, as well as the Israeli Medical Association. So everybody in Israel is up in arms about this and do not support this whatsoever. And they want this proposal to go away and just stop altogether. This is continuing an ongoing situation, so we'll see how this plays out with Benjamin Netanyahu. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Let's move on to the Greek wildfires. The Greek wildfires come after the largest or the greatest heat wave in Europe's history. Now, they are out of control on certain islands in Greece, and there's a lot of things that people need to do in order to stay away from these because they just spark up out of nowhere. And yeah, apparently it was up to 104 degrees in Greece or Europe in general over the weekend. Don't know what that is Celsius. Tens of thousands of people were forced to flee islands, many of them tourists who are stranded and living in makeshift shelters until they are able to get reparations flights back to the United States or wherever they're traveling from. The fires are again caused by extremely dry conditions as well as possibly arson. They're thinking the government or whatever. So arson could be involved with this as well. The fires are on their seventh day and are still totally uncontrolled and yeah, out of control. No control over them, and they're spreading. Up to 20,000 people fled Rhodes Island over the weekend in 3 days. 20,000 people just off the island over these wildfires. And the officials in Greece are calling this the largest evacuation from a wildfire in the history of Greece. So it's a very bad situation. No reports on injuries or deaths that I see. So currently didn't really look that up anyway, but so we'll see what the damage is with that when it's all said, done, over with. Let's move on to the next topic here. Greta Thunberg. Da, da, da. This girl. Okay. Greta Thunberg fined. The Swedish court fined Greta Thunberg on charges of disobeying police orders while she was blocking traffic last month. Typical of a crazed out, supporter. Greta did not comply to police orders at all, of course, Um, to move. The police did allow her to get her opinion out and voice her opinion before they told her, yeah, hey, you got to go. You can't be here. You can't be blocking traffic. People got to go to work, blah, blah, blah. yada yada yada. So she just stood there and did not, or sat there and did not move, and chose not to obey authority, citing she is Greta cited that she is reclaiming our future by sitting there and striking for the climate. Not really. There's probably more she could do by sitting in front of a car, maybe actually doing some real work instead of just being a little, I don't know, nuisance to society. Um, the fine though was only $150, which is very minor because it was a minor offense of just sitting there and blocking traffic, just a little civil disobedience or something like that. So she was also ordered to pay $100 to crime victims, so by the court as well. Luckily for Greta, though, this was only a minor violation, and she is lucky that something else doesn't come her way one of these days doing some crazy stuff, like sitting in front of cars. She might get ran over one day. We'll see. Um, Greta also stated that she will continue to protest as long as the situation stands as it currently is, and that we will not back down. So she will not back down from all this, and she will continue to fight for the climate and for the future of our world. Okay, that wraps up today's international news. This series will just be known as international news, not uploaded on Wednesdays, whatever day of the week. Try to do it every week as much as possible. I will be starting a new series this weekend called U.S. News, so it'll focus on 3 topics centered on just the U.S. This week, I already know one's going to be the Trump indictment and X. We'll see how X is doing come Wednesday. That'll be uploaded Wednesday. The video's already made as well. Yeah, so check out the People's Podcast. I'm gonna try to do another People's Podcast this weekend, but just like the guests aren't really working out and stuff, and yeah, I need to get on that. So we'll have another People's Podcast this week sometime. I'll definitely keep you updated on that on socials. Check out my geography profiles. I'm going to be uploading Pennsylvania history this week. Pennsylvania geography, I mean. War history series, maybe uploading another episode on the War of Independence as well. And check out my gaming channel, Orbis Gaming. Upload clips and little montages and stuff like that, also on TikTok. Thank you for watching this week, and we'll see you later. Peace.